Once upon a time, the Mahou Shoujo genre was a shining beacon of hope, adventure, and empowerment in the world of anime. It was a genre that inspired generations, broke boundaries, and redefined what it means to be a hero. But now, it feels like the magic is fading, the sparkle is dimming, and the question on everyone's mind is, what happened? The Prince presents the fall of the Mahou Shoujo genre. To understand the fall, we must revisit the rise. The Mahou Shoujo genre, as we know, was born in the 90s, with Sailor Moon leading the charge. It wasn't just a show, it was a cultural phenomenon. Sailor Moon gave us magical girls who were more than just pretty faces. They were fighters, friends, and symbols of hope. It was a story about love, justice, and the power of friendship, and it resonated with audience worldwide. Then came Cardcaptor Sakura, which added a layer of depth and charm, blending magical battles with heartfelt storytelling. Sakura wasn't just a magical girl, she was relatable, everyday kid who happened to have magical powers. This grounded approach made the genre accessible and enduring. The 20s saw the rise of Precure, a franchise that became the backbone of the genre. Precure delivered yearly installments filled with action, friendship, and glittering transformations. It was a formula that worked so well. In fact, Precure became synonymous with magical girls for an entire generation, and it didn't stop there. Madoka Magica happened. In 2011, Madoka flipped the genre on its head. It was dark, psychological, and subversive. It was revolutionary. Madoka proved that magical girls could be more than just cute and colorful. They could be complex, tragic, and deeply human. It deconstructed the genre, exposing the darker implication of its tropes. In doing so, it redefined what magical girls' story could be. For a while, it seemed like the genre was unstoppable, but then something changed. After Madoka, time has passed, and the genre began to lose its momentum. Sure, there are still magical girl shows, but they lacked the same impact. The market became oversaturated, with imitators trying to replicate Madoka's success, leading to a wave of edgy magical girl stories that often missed the point. Shows like Magical Girl Raising Project and Mahou Shoujo Site tried to capture Madoka's dark magic, but they often seemed more unnecessarily dark than insightful. Meanwhile, even Precure started to feel repetitive. While it still has its moment, it's no longer the cultural force it once was. Recent seasons have been revisiting old ideas instead of pushing boundaries. The franchise is also no longer the trendsetter it once was, even if it's trying something new like in Hirogaru Sky Precure, where a male character became a Precure, and I think it was for the first time in the entire series, actually second. Well, officially the first one. Anyways, even though Precure has presented some impressive narratives in recent times, these recent times have already been almost 10 years ago. Today, Precure is no longer investing in its storytelling or something creative and engaging for all of us. Instead, it has become a purely childish and straightforward anime. Even the return of Nanoha after years of silence feels more like a nostalgic callback than a bold step forward. Nanoha was revolutionary in its time, blending magical girls with mecha elements and creating a franchise that was both commercially successful and artistically ambitious. But its recent revival hasn't sparked the same level of excitement or innovation. The truth is, the Mahou Shoujo genre is struggling to reinvent itself. It's stuck in a cycle of nostalgia and repetition, relying on past glories instead of forging new paths, and in an anime landscape dominated by isekai, slice of life, and action-packed shonen, magical girls are struggling to find their place. Let's be real, Mahou Shoujo isn't dead. Precure is still going strong even after these points, and shows like Symphogear have kept the flame alive. It was one of the best animes of the last years. Compared to its golden age, the genre feels stagnant, or is just not that special anymore. The genre is in desperate need of a new direction. It needs to be like BOCCHI the Rock, a fresh, innovative take that reignites interest and brings magical girls back into the spotlight. BOCCHI the Rock basically revived the music anime genre. It redefined it, offering a unique blend of humor, heart, and relatability. After BOCCHI the Rock, we have now Bang Dream Maigo, Ave Musica, and girls band Cry. Mahou Shoujo needs something similar. It needs an anime that captures and reminds us why we fell in love with the genre in the first place. So, how do we save the Mahou Shoujo genre? First, it needs to evolve. It needs to take risks and explore new ideas. Imagine, for example, like a magical girl series that blends genres like sci-fi, Mahou Shoujo, or a magical girl story set in a post-apocalyptic world. Problem with the genre is that it doesn't feel new or unprecedented like it did in the 90s. Okay, even better idea, imagine a cyberpunk Mahou Shoujo. Even a magical girl versus political thriller could work. One of the Mahou Shoujo genre's greatest failures in recent years is the refusal to hybridize. While other genres thrive by blending things, magical girls remain trapped in two extremes, tradition or Madoka-inspired gloom. Where are the bold experiments? The criticism is clear. Mahou Shoujo isn't supposed to be just about magical girls saving the world, but about girls who transform and have powers. That's it, literally. Nanoha fused magic with mecha, Utena Wolf in surreal psychodrama, Princess Tutu married ballet with meta-narrative, yet today studios act as if the genre must choose between Precure's purity or Madoka despair. This binary thinking ignores the genre's history of reinvention. The tools for revolution exist. All it takes is one visionary creator to wield them. Second, it needs to focus on storytelling. At its core, the Mahou Shoujo genre is about hope, friendship, and empowerment, but that doesn't mean it has to be formulaic. Madoka was revolutionary, and even shows like Revolutionary Girl Utena proved that Mahou Shoujo can tackle complex themes and push boundaries. And third, the genre needs a breakout hit. A show that captures the hearts of a new generation. It needs to be bold, original, unafraid to take risks. Because if there's one thing magical girls have taught us, it's that even in the darkest times, hope can shine through. To conclude, this video is quite controversial at first because it might seem absurd. Have you ever thought about this before? Do you even agree with me that the genre is in decline? Oh, and I didn't mean to come off as cynical, even though it might seem that way. Of course, the genre is not the same as in the past, but that doesn't mean that all Mahou Shoujo are terrible today. For example, Hirogaru Sky Precure is a recent Mahou Shoujo and I consider it a good anime, though it's nothing extraordinary. The genre isn't evolving, it's stuck in time, that's the problem here. Mahou Shoujo has very broad concepts, so why are so many still stuck with the same ideas? That's the question I'd like you to think about if you still had any doubts after watching this video. The Mahou Shoujo genre isn't there, it's just waiting for its next transformation. And like any good magical girl story, it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how you rise again. Thanks for watching my video. With that, I close the curtains and the showdown.